My name is Aubrey Williams. Currently a case manager for a program called Face Forward, which is a program for adjudicated youth, young adults ages 16 to 19, who have acquired offenses, and I've, of course, been in the juvenile justice system. Do things like help them get employment and get on track academically, etc. Grew up in the West End on 32nd, Virginia. Spent a lot of time on 32nd and 38th Street, those areas. The high school, actually 5 high school, Louisville, Wagner, Eastern. Hempstead High School in Georgia, came back with the Harris and Eastern. Started selling drugs when I was 14. Ghetto fantasy, wanted to be rich. And so pursued my dream. Time when I got shot, got owed me some money, we had a fight, beat him up. Basically I asked him for my money, and his response was very disrespectful. I beat him up, and it's about 30 minutes later he came back with a gun and shot me. And at that point in my life I was so empty. I had obtained a lot of material things that I wanted, that I fantasized about, but I was still empty. I was actually more lost than I was when I chose to sell drugs at the age of 14. And so, as he stood in front of me with the gun, man, I said, put the gun down, so I can beat you up again. His mother was standing in front of me, and she was like, why did you beat up my son? I could have gave you your money. She pointed a finger in my face, and I smacked the hand out of my face. I was very disrespectful to her, but I didn't really care whether I lived or died. For the simple fact that, I had all these material things, and I was young, and I was still unhappy. And I'm like, if I'm still unhappy, then, what else is there to live for? Because, we think life is all about things and what you can acquire and obtain. And I was still empty and lost, so I didn't really care whether I lived or died. So, as we argued back and forth for it seemed like probably about a minute and a half total, I guess. He seemed like he didn't really want to shoot me. I could see it in his eyes. Normally I was strapped, just based on the lifestyle I was in, but I actually got locked up with 2 guns 2 weeks before this incident, so I didn't have a gun on me. But anyway, I turned around to leave, and as I did, his sister was also there. She swung. Well, no, let me back up. Before that, I said, pull the trigger, I'm ready to die. I looked him in his eyes and I told him that I was ready to die. Because again, I was so empty. So it didn't seem like he was really gonna do it. I turned to leave, and as I did, his mother said, what are you gonna do, Anthony? She pretty much encouraged him to shoot me. And his sister swung and hit me. And right as she hit me is when I heard the shot, and then my body just turned cold instantly. I felt like I was in a freezer, 10 below. And I could instantly feel myself dying. As I felt my soul, what felt like my soul leaving my body, instantly, there's really no way I can really describe it, because this is something that, you have to go through, but it was scary, It wasn't the bullet, I wasn't in pain, I was cold, and it felt like that my soul was going to a dark place, and that's what was scary. Because it's not just am I dying, but I felt like I was going to a place that would probably be miserable. Well, first of all, I lost 1.5 gallons of blood. My heart did stop 3 times. I was on life support for 6 hours, I believe. The doctors actually pronounced me dead. Took the family in the room, told them they had done all they could do. That I probably was not going to make it. However, Pastor James Miller from Lampley Baptist Church. He baptized me when I was maybe 8 years old. And he told my mother when I was even younger than that I would be a preacher one day. They say this man is gifted. I'm not preaching yet, but some do say that I am called. But anyway, as the doctors had my family in the room, he said that he was praying over my body, and he quoted some scripture. He said, as he did, my body moved. I had been unresponsive to that point. And he said, of course, he shocked me. He prayed some more, quoted some more scripture, and my body moved again. And at this point, he said my mom was coming back down the hallway, crying and trying to, basically like to say her goodbyes. And he told her to go get the doctors because they needed to come back and operate because God had a job for me to do. And basically said that the doctors were taken by his spirit, and that's when they started operating. So when I woke up from surgery, I knew that let's just say I went through some spiritual things, but I was unconscious. And for me, it was more so of that than the physical. This was much more of a spiritual experience than the physical because I was literally walking around dead and didn't know it as a black man. And this opened my eyes to a lot. Number one, that God had a purpose for me because he saved my life in spite of all the dirt I had done. He chose to save me in spite of all the weakness that I spread. So I had to acknowledge that and marinate on it in the hospital. But they said that, they were going to have to take my legs because the bullet did a lot of nerve damage. It actually entered my left side, traveled across my body, and they took the bullet out on my right side. And I lost a foot and a half of my colon. Like I said, the bullet did a lot of nerve damage. So they thought they were going to have to amputate my legs, but they didn't, thank God. But they said it was going to take me like so many weeks to, be able to leave the hospital and to be able to walk again. But they said I actually did. I began to recover quicker than they expected. As I said, man, I didn't really care whether I lived or died. I thought I was the hardest thing walking. That I was going to be in the streets forever. But it wasn't until I had an encounter with God. I had an encounter with God, and I think that's why, I don't think I know, for our young black males, they don't know who they are. We still don't have an identity established. And until we can have a personal relationship with our God, and to know that we have purpose and meaning, to be on this earth, that we're gifted, that we're talented, that we're beautiful. It wasn't until I learned those things that, I could overlook another brother disrespecting me. It wasn't until I had that understanding, that I could, walk away from a fight. But our youth, they don't see that. All they see is what's around them, what's in the media, and unfortunately what they know. What I would say to a young person, man, is to, take your time before you jump in the streets. Because the streets will always be around. They'll always be present. They're not going to change. The gang life, the drug life, it's not going anywhere. But if you put your energy into the right place, if you invest in yourself, into the gifts God gave, then you don't have to take a chance with your life. But if you want to go out here and be hard and be a thug, try to do that, then go ahead and see what happens. But just like the old phrase goes, see one person jump off the bridge, why are you going to jump too? I don't see too many people that's been in the dope game or the gang life or any kind of thug life at all that has made it out successful. When I got shot, the light bulb came on. But I had so many cases pending, I ended up on house arrest shortly after that. And I read my first book by Nathan McCall, Makes Me Want to Holler. That's when the light bulb really came on. I kept reading, and I got an understanding of my history and where I come from. I saw the prices that were paid by my ancestors. Those who fought and died before us supposed to be in the position that we're in. And I felt guilty, man, for selling crack in the community. I felt guilty about sitting in the back of the classroom I felt guilty about throwing my gifts away. And so at that point, I decided I was going to do my best and be my best for our community.